Earlier, Corey and I checked out an old Air Force trainer plane. We're actually interested in buying it, so I asked my buddy Matt to come on down, check it out, before we made an offer.
This is my buddy Matt. I'm a Marine Corps F-18 pilot with 18 years of experience, a graduate of the Naval Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun, and former U.S. Navy Blue Angel pilot. So, Rick, you really want to try and buy this airplane?
I want to get an airplane. I'm just trying to figure out the right one.
Well, the Texan's an awesome plane. It basically was the workhorse to train all the cadets in World War II. This aircraft was great for training not only our fighter pilots, but also our bomber pilots, the B-17, the B-24 pilots. During World War II, we dominated the skies, whether that's Europe or over in the Pacific region. This aircraft helped train those pilots to get to that final step, to where they flew that P-51 or that F-4. So after this, it's ready for combat and, you know, potentially going in harm's way. You guys have any concerns?
How well does it fly? Would it be good for me?
Well, you know, it's a great trainer plane.
I know, but you're trying to sell it to me?
It is, but that tail wheel right there makes it a little difficult.
So is it harder to land in a one with the tail wheel?
You got it. Landing a tail dragger, that airplane can swap ends pretty quickly. Where it doesn't have the tricycle gear, where you have a nose gear and two tail gear, you actually have it in the back. It's a little unstable with that. Landing a tail dragger is kind of like going from learning to ride your bike, where you have training wheels on it, and then all of a sudden you take those training wheels off.
Basically, we have like no aviation skills. We're about to start school, so.
You might have to start off on something a little less powerful and a little easier to fly.
I thought we could learn to fly this thing, but clearly that's not a good idea. But I still love this plane, so if I can get it for a good price, I can resell it and make a profit.
Before I can give you a price range on this aircraft, we need to do a visual inspection.
Do your stuff.
You bet. How many hours do you have on your engine?
You know, it only has about 20 hours since the engine has been completely overhauled.
The engine's on here, 1,600 hours. And as you get closer to that mark, you need to overhaul, and that is a big ticket item. So that's actually a plus. On the front, he's going to have a spinner. Not all Texans have a spinner. It adds about $5,000 in value.
Just for that little cap on the front?
Just for here, the spinner on here.
Protects it from elements, dirt, rust, and things like that.
That's why airplanes are so damn weird, because it just doesn't look like it would cost $5,000.
Yeah.
Come on up, have a seat.
He's got a clean cockpit setup. This aircraft is fairly basic to fly. Landing and takeoff is a little hard with the tail wheel, but literally with the stick, it's up, down, left, right to maneuver the aircraft. You've got a pretty easy throttle. So the last thing to do here is to take this airplane flying. Dennis and I should go airborne.
Yeah, let's take her up.
All right, let's do it.
Do your stuff.
I'm super excited to fly this aircraft. I spent most of my time in jets, and this will be really kind of a throwback. It'll be fun to fly this. Clear. I've inspected the exterior and the interior of the plane. We've looked at the logbooks, so I'm really excited to fly the aircraft.
I wonder what it's like to just hop in any plane you see and be able to fly it.
I don't know, but I think it would be pretty cool.
Okay, you ready to go? Okay. Here we go, man. Now just stick kind of neutral like that. Steer it with your rudder.
I thought the aircraft performed very well on takeoff.
Okay, about 45 degrees. Look out, turn it around. Oh, wow.
We did a bunch of aerobatics. We did a couple loops, barrel rolls.
Oh my God.
Maybe one day I'll be able to fly it.
Aircraft flew pretty awesome.
So now, we want to keep the nose straight. Here it comes. Right, there it is.
And put just a little braking action.
Apparently it works. So how was it?
Awesome. We had a blast. Good aircraft. Dennis, you've done a nice job restoring that. Oh, it's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
All right, so what do you think it's worth?
Right now, current market, what we're looking at, you know, I think it's fair value. It's about $170,000 on the spot.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair estimate.
So what does it cost to own one of these things?
first thing is you need to hangar it. That's about $300 a month. Then this aircraft needs to fly. It needs to get lubricated, oil through the systems, fuel, everything's about $275 an hour to fly it.
Seems like this thing is going to cost me $1,000 a month just to own until I can sell it.
Yeah, that's a safe number.
All right, well, thanks, Matt.
Okay, you bet. Great to see you.
Matt, you're the man, dude.
Okay, see you.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
Nice job, Dennis.
So what is your bottom dollar?
I'd look at something around 165,000.
Oh. You know, we sort of came out here on a whim. So on a whim, I'll give you 140 grand.
Yeah, it's getting warm.
I mean, if I buy it off, it's gonna sit around for a while. It's gonna cost me money to own it till I resell it or figure out what the hell I'm gonna do with it.
Well, you know, it's a vintage and a classic airplane. There's so much heritage with this, and it appreciates in value.
It's definitely something I'm interested in.
You know, with a 157, kind of warm it up a little bit for you?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd go like 140 on it if you take it.
You gave me 150, we'd probably have a deal today. Yeah.
As a businessman, I will go 140.
You know, if you come up just a little bit, at 145, we'd be shaking hands.
I'll tell you what, my man. I'm gonna go back and do a little bit more research. If I think we can pay you 145 for it, I'll give you a call and we'll do it. But right now, I'm gonna hold you at 140.
Boy, we were really close, so why don't we just think about that a little bit, and maybe there'll be a phone ringing between here and Vegas.
Have a good one, man.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. I'm shocked that they didn't take the offer.
I'm bummed we got that close and couldn't make a deal. But I'm glad it was me and Corey that got to check out the plane. If we had sent Chum and the old man, they would have wasted the whole day playing around.
Morning, sir. Chumley, get up off your ass.
Got a couple photographs of the Enola Gay and her crew that maybe I'm looking to sell. The Enola Gay was the B-29 bomber that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima.
This was one of the biggest events in mankind's history.
Yes, it was. Both photographs are signed by the pilot and some of the crew members. I bought the photos from an estate auction. I'm hoping to get at least $1,500 today for the photos. I don't plan on taking anything less than $500.
Well, who signed it?
Both photographs are signed by the pilot, Paul Tibbets. He is since deceased. The upper photo of the crew is signed by an additional 3 members of the crew plus the pilot. They're national heroes.
It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, there's different views from different people, Chumley. They estimated the war would go on for another 4 or 5 years. When they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, Japan surrendered almost immediately. This one single mission was a turning point for the future of warfare for years to come. If this thing checks out, we could have a real treasure on our hands. How much you want for it?
I was hoping to get about $1,500.
You mind if I send this out and have it checked, guy? I just want to make sure the signatures are right.
Sure.
Chum, you feel like taking a ride up to Rebecca's?
Yeah, I can take a ride in there.
That'd be cool.
All right, why don't y'all do that?
I'm pretty sure the signatures are authentic, but having a second opinion is more than welcome by me, and hopefully it can increase the value.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Chum, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad. Nice to see you.
I'm just here to babysit Chum.
He can't come on his own. Well, that's all right. I like having both of you here. Looks like Enola Gay.
Well, the old man wanted me to have the names checked out and just make sure that the signatures matched up.
Well, why don't we go into the library and I'll take a look at it.
Great.
All right? Collectors are very, very interested in anything dealing with the dropping of the atomic bomb. A Paul Tibbets signature could be worth thousands, tens of thousands. You know, apparently only 3 people in the entire crew actually knew what the mission was. And the rest of the crew, they had been used to these sort of, bombing raids, but when they saw the effect of this particular bomb, which they hadn't expected, they actually said, my God, what just happened?
Wow.
Tibbets was, by reputation, the best pilot in the Air Force. And he actually sometimes worked as Eisenhower's personal pilot when they were going around Europe.
Cool.
Have you checked it for authenticity?
No.
Okay. It's a big risk,
Yes, I know.
Let's see if that paid off. Looks like these were all signed with a couple different pens. Now, the date here is really significant. This is actually the date,
Right.
August 6, 1945, when the bomb was dropped. Signatures of Paul Tibbets that were actually signed on August 6, 1945, are worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Great.
Okay? The thing about this signature here, though, it is real.
Cool.
But it's a signature of Tibbetts from his old age. We know that because his signature changed as he got older, and this is the signature from when he was older. And probably by request, he backdated it. So with that in mind, the signatures of the crew members are worth about $100 each.
Okay.
Tibbetts is worth a little bit more because Tibbetts was the pilot, and you're looking at about $150 for his signature.
Okay.
So the total for this piece, you're looking at about $600.
Okay.
I guess that's everything. You think you could give us a moment?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I'm a little disappointed in the overall value. I thought it might be worth a little more.
So what do you want to do? You heard what she has to say.
The minimum I'm willing to let it go for is $600.
Well, usually we would say hell no. If the old man really wants it, you think we should call him up or something?
Give him a call. Grandpa,
Yeah.
Rebecca says it's worth $600 and the guy wants to sell it for $600. Do you want to pay retail for it?
Hell no. I don't pay retail for nothing, Corey.
All right.
You know me better than that. Pass.
All right. Take care. Well, you heard him.
Would you take 400?
No, I think I'm gonna keep it, hang it in my house.
Okay. Thanks for bringing it down.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
You can't win them all, but in the end, it wasn't even worth that much.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, I've got something special to show you.
What do we got here?
It's a World War II Seiko medal set.
This is really, really interesting. Seiko is kind of weird, okay? It was the Sino-American Cooperative Organization. It was an intelligence thing, so it really wasn't an official military operation. And in 1974, the Chinese government came up with a set of medals. Now, the weird thing about these medals is you cannot wear one of these medals on an American uniform because they're not American medals. Kind of weird, but those are the rules.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my World War II Seiko medals. These medals are in immaculate condition. All four of them are in the original display box given to the servicemen. I'm hoping to get $5,000. If I make the sale today, I'll pay off a credit card and then probably have a little fun with some of the money.
This is like deeply cool. So World War II comes along and we end up being at war with the Japanese. Well, China was also at war with the Japanese. So the Office of Strategic Services, that's what our government had before we had the CIA.
Okay.
That was our intelligence service. They ended up putting 2,800 people in China that were training Chinese fighters, spying on the Japanese that were in China. I mean, it was basically 2,800 people running an entire spy network in China. So, how much you looking to get out of them?
I'm looking for $5,000.
Do you know if they're reissues?
I don't know what a reissue is, but...
Okay. With these particular medals, originally they only made 600 of them. 2,800 guys were there, and there was a lot of people who didn't get them. So, like, it was like 15, 20 years ago, they issued more for those that didn't get them. So, I mean, it's a big concern of mine.
Right.
I have a friend, though. He knows everything there is to know about medals. I get him down here, take a look at them. We'll go from there.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. I have no problem with an expert coming in and looking at them because all the research I've done on them shows that they're extremely rare.
Well, here they are. Told you on the phone. Sacco medals.
Yeah, the Sino-American Cooperative Organization. That's an interesting group. Most people have never heard of this group. When people think of Americans in China in World War II, they think of the Flying Tigers, and that's about it. This group, you know, there were 2,800 guys there, Navy and Marines. They were supposed to go in there and just set up weather stations. And then they started training guerrillas, and they were very successful at that. The estimates are that the guerrillas that they trained killed upwards of 23,000 Japanese.
So in 1974, that's when the Chinese government recognized, hey, thanks for all the work you did, and gave out these medals?
The nationalist Chinese government.
So the Taiwan.
Yes, Taiwan under Tai Li, they decided that they would say thank you. And at a reunion, they made up 600 commemorative medals and gave them out at that reunion.
Okay, so I know later they gave out more.
Yes. They continued to give these medals out to others who just didn't make it to that reunion.
So, but is this like the early medals or the later medals?
I need to take a closer look. I need to take a look at the back of it and that. This one looks to me to be a modern piece in absolutely perfect shape. It is not one of the 1974 medals. It's not one of the original 600. I think this is a later production.
Okay. Well, man, thanks. You're amazing.
Not a problem. Glad to help. Interesting to look at. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ben.
So what do you think?
You know, there's a collector market for these, but it's like book collectors, they want first editions.
Right.
You have the second or third. And it makes a big difference. So, give me $200?
The research I've done on them, I've been looking for 10 years and I've only seen one sold. And it was just the one medal and it sold for $1,500.
It was probably one of the original ones. I'm assuming I'll get $400 out of them.
All right. Well, I can't let them go for that, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, I'll go like $250.
No, I'd still keep them.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, let me know.
All right.
But this is a great story behind him.
Yeah, I learned a lot today, so that's good. I'm disappointed I didn't make the sale. Could have used the money, but they'll go back in my safe with my other collectibles.
What the hell is this? Just put them right there, dude, in the middle. You ever think of calling ahead, man? What the hell are these things?
They're a couple of bomb fins, probably from World War II or something. I've never seen anything like them myself. Don't you think they're the bomb?
Wow.
Came down to the pawn shop today, tried to sell my bomb fins. I'm not sure exactly what they're worth. I kind of will take anything at this point as long as they're out of my backyard.
I mean, they look like the tail end of a bomb or something, but you're definitely missing the bomb part of them. These are just like the fins that would help guide it to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
So where'd you get these, man?
Well, they were kind of sitting in my dad's backyard and ended up getting them at my house somehow, and now I just want to get rid of them. Well, wife wants to get rid of them.
How much does it weigh?
This one probably weighs a couple 100 pounds. That one's probably about 50, 60 pounds. They're, I guess, from World War II.
All right. The Allies dropped millions of tons of bombs in World War II. So I guess it would make sense that there would be some bomb fins laying around in some guy's garage. Did you paint that one?
No, that came as is.
And I could see someone turning this into a table or something. I don't know what the hell you would do with that one.
You can play a little basketball with them and stuff. And
yeah, I can also buy a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've never had these come in before, and I have no idea what they're worth. For all I know, they could be a septic tank off something, dude.
No, definitely not.
I got a buddy that might know. I think my dad would probably like to check them out, too. Let me give him a call and see what I can do for him.
All right, that sounds good. I don't know much about what these fins are. I'd really like to hear from an expert because maybe they're worth more than what I'm expecting.
Wow. What are you guys, getting in the bomb-making business?
No.
The guys usually call me down here for anything aviation or military related, and I try to come down here and answer any questions they might have.
So you know what these are?
I do. These are actually conical fins off low-drag general-purpose bombs. So before, in World War II, and even World War I a little bit, we would just drop the bombs out. And so accuracy wasn't there. These conical fins got put in use from Vietnam on. You strap this onto the tail section of a bomb, and it provides a predictable glide path for the bomb. Basically improves accuracy.
All right.
It's pretty low tech. You know, today we're dropping laser-guided, GPS-guided bombs, but we're still dropping these. In 2003 in Iraq, this is what we were using.
Why are we still dropping, you know, these big dumb bombs instead of the smart ones that are going down people's chimneys?
You know, obviously the accuracy is in there, but it's just so much cheaper. The laser-guided bombs, you know, you can't actually drop through clouds. You know, sometimes it's easier. This one looks like it's strapped to about a Mark 84, which is a 2,000-pound bomb, and 11 feet long. We'll fly in, we'll identify a target, and basically roll in and kind of come in on a dive to improve accuracy. And then we'll release the bomb and then come off. Obviously, we want to get bomb-aircraft separation. As far as damage, you're looking about probably a 50-foot crater, about 11 feet of concrete that can go through.
Wow. That's a big bomb.
Yeah, that would pretty much level the gold and silver pawn shop.
All right, that's good to know. You did make sure there's nothing in that thing, right?
Yeah, man, obviously.
Okay. It's not illegal to own these things or anything, is it?
No, you know, most of them are actually serialized and we kind of account for it, but they are out there. It's not surprising, but it's not very common.
Okay, so what are they worth?
Believe it or not, this is probably higher value, the smaller one, just because it's got more uses. I've seen people make tables out of these. The conditions average at best. They are a little beat up. This one's been painted over. You know, it's gonna bring down the value a little bit because it's not original. You know, commercial value, probably all in, $500–600 in that range.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks for coming in.
Great, good to see you.
Well, I was a little disappointed. I figured they'd be worth a little bit more, but, you know, it is what it is.
So let's talk money.
Well, I was hoping somewhere in the 1,200 range.
Obviously, man, you know I can't pay $1,200 for it. I mean, I'd give you like $400 for it, man.
400 for one or both?
For both.
I do want to get rid of them, but I still think that, I mean, $400 is a little low. I mean, you can't go up to like maybe
No.
7?
No.
No?
The more that I look at them, the more I don't want them. They just take up so much damn room. $400 or nothing.
You can go...
$400 or nothing.
They're cool. I mean, there's something that's not gonna... I don't think they'll sit in the shop for a long time.
Would your wife let you put this in the living room?
She did.
Would she?
She did for a little while, and that's
And
why
then-
I'm here.
And that's what happens, yeah.
400 then.
All right, have a good one. Right about it.
Let's go do some paperwork, man.
Well, I feel okay about the deal. My wife will probably be happy, and it'll be a nice dinner, take her out, and just have a good time with the money.
I have a military uniform of some sort. It makes a great Halloween costume. I've worn it a couple of years, trick-or-treated in that thing.
Okay.
I want to sell this uniform because it's just taking up space in the closet right now. I mean, I have no use for it. I'm not even sure what era it's from. So if I can get a few $100 out of it, I'd be overjoyed.
So where'd you get it from?
It was in a trunk in my grandma's attic. Found it after she passed away. And I'm assuming it belonged to my grandfather, but that's all I know about it.
So how many total pieces did you bring in here? Or?
Well, we've got the hat right here. Got another hat somewhere around here. There it is. The jacket, and these pants, I'm assuming, go with the jacket, same material and everything. And then there was another set of pants in there, which, different color. I don't know if it goes with the uniform or not.
Okay. It's definitely World War II. It says so right there. Dated December 18th, 1942.
Okay.
One of the things I rarely see is a World War II uniform, and I have never had a complete set.
Was he a pilot of some sort?
You know, I saw the wings, so I'm assuming Air Force or something like that.
Actually, it's Army Air Corps. There was no Air Force yet.
I did not know that.
My favorite thing about this uniform is that it's from the Air Corps, and the Air Corps was around before the Air Force even existed.
Oh, look, still got the price tag on it.
Yeah, you know, I noticed that. It's $7.50. Did they buy these in the store?
Officers back then had to buy their own uniforms.
I thought they just got their military issue. They just got them issued.
No, even today, officers buy their own uniforms.
Oh, wow.
So do you want to pawn it or sell it?
Sell it. You know, it's in great condition. So I thought, you know, if I can make a little bit of money off of it, I'd be happy as a clam.
Okay, so how much did you want for this thing?
To be honest, I don't really even know a starting point.
I'll tell you the truth, I don't either. Anything I offer you is just going to be a shot in the dark. I got a buddy who deals in all the World War I, World War II stuff. Let's give him a call, and we'll set up a time and come back.
All right, we'll do.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks. I'm really happy that Rick is an expert that we can turn to because I want to know the true value of these uniforms before I settle on any price.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. This is it.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, my wife and I, we've owned a military shop for about 12 years now, and I've been collecting since about 1980. What I really enjoy about World War I and World War II memorabilia is the variety. There's so many countries that participated in World War I and World War II that there's just a wide diversity of items that you can collect. This is looks like a very nice condition World War II officer's Air Corps jacket.
Yeah, what about these? I don't even think these go with the uniform, but maybe they're worth something.
Well, actually, those are part of the uniform. These trousers are what you call pinks. And this uniform together is called pinks and greens. And you really can't tell in this lighting, but if you took him outside, you'd kind of see a pinkish hue to him.
Yeah.
It has nice insignia. He was a second lieutenant. But the nicest thing about this uniform is the bullion patch. Wherever there are GIs, there generally be people selling what they call in-country made patches. You know, people that had a little extra money, they'd have them made up, and they'd be more showy when they went out in town. Now, the interesting thing about this one in particular, it was probably made in Italy. Okay. And the 15th Air Force saw a lot of service through Italy. This is a really nice collection, but the piece I really, really like is the hat, because this is what you call a crusher hat. These were very popular with pilots. They were very expensive for them at the time, because you could take them and smash them up and put them in your pocket. They wouldn't get damaged easily. You could also put these on and wear headphones with them, and you're not going to hurt the hat. So this is worth maybe 4 times more than your regular Army officer's hat.
To be honest, I'm actually getting kind of excited. I think this might be a little bit more valuable, or a lot more valuable than I originally anticipated. So what do you think all of this is worth? And is it worth more as a collection, or would it be better to piece it out? Or, I mean, what do you think?
Well, it's worth more as a collection. And so if we add it all up, I'd estimate the total value to be about $800.
Oh, wow. Retail. $800, that's more than I anticipated.
All right, thanks, Paul. Really appreciate you coming by again.
Anytime, Rick.
I'm really happy Paul stopped by because he told me about the uniform and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. Now we just have to negotiate a price. So what do you want for them?
Well, you know, Paul said they were worth $800, so obviously I want to get as close to that number as possible.
I'll give you $400 for them.
Yeah, $400, that sounds fair. It's a deal.
All right, deal, man.
Thanks. I'm really happy Rick and I were able to come to a deal. It was a win-win situation. You know, I walked out with more money in my pocket than I thought, and you know, Rick, I think he got a good deal on an awesome uniform collection, you know, in great condition.
A guy that works for me every now and then called me up and said he's got something to show me. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but he sounded pretty excited, so I told him to bring it in. Hey, what's up, Scott?
What's going on, Rick?
Scott spends a lot of time out at flea markets and estate sales. And every once in a while, he finds some great things. And if they're really great, sometimes I buy them for the shop.
I got you a grenade.
Oh, get that thing out of my store.
Oh, dude, I took it apart before I brought it in.
How do you put it together?
That's what I don't remember. I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my World War II grenade. I'm really stoked about showing Rick this grenade. He's a buddy of mine, and I work for him from time to time, and I know he's going to be pumped about this thing. I really have no idea what it's worth. It's super rare. I do know that, so hopefully it's worth a lot.
Well, there's no boomy stuff inside of it.
Nope.
It's not every day that someone walks into my shop with a grenade. I consider that a good thing. But this particular one, I have never seen before. So what do you know about it?
It was either made by the OSS or the CIA 60 years ago.
The Office of Strategic Services was formed during World War II to gather military intelligence. In other words, they were spies. And after World War II, the OSS became the CIA. Well, you got a lot of balls for buying a grenade and then taking it apart, I'll tell you. I've never seen a design like this. Looks like it'd be easy to throw, though. The only thing I know is EKC means Eastman Kodak Company.
Wow, okay.
I know during World War II, Eastman Kodak made all sorts of weird things. I'm pretty sure they even made rifles. Let me call up Tony down at the gun store. Maybe he knows something about it. Maybe he can tell you what it's worth.
Cool.
And maybe you can get $50 out of it. I don't know.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, let me give him a call.
All right.
This grenade definitely intrigues me, but until I get it checked out, I have no idea what it's worth. This is it.
This is it. Wow. I'm Tony from the gun store here in Las Vegas. Everything that comes in that is unusual or strange or old, they call me. This is a grenade that was made for the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services. It was the forerunner to CIA.
Oh, cool.
This is James Bond stuff here. Old school James Bond. This was an impact detonating grenade made by Eastman Kodak Company. They made it look like a baseball because they figured that every American boy can throw a baseball. This would normally be filled with TNT. This screws on this like that.
Okay.
And then this goes in like this. 43 people were injured during the testing. 3 people died, right? Because they couldn't get the fuse just right. They actually never saw any action because the war ended. And when they ended it, because of the OSS super secret stuff, they destroyed all of the examples and they classified all the records. This grenade is like the holy grail of ordnance collectors, and it goes for a ton of money. How much did you pay?
$5.
$5 American dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, you did way good. You did real good.
Good, so I got some gas money coming my way.
You got car money coming. Rick, the last time I saw one of these for sale was in 2007. And it sold for over $2,000. Yeah, you did way good.
Thanks for coming in, Tony. I appreciate it.
Hey, Rick, anytime.
Who's the man now, Rick?
Apparently you are. This thing is beyond cool, and I definitely want the damn thing. Scott knows the deal. I got to make a profit, but he's not a pushover. This is how he makes a living, too, and that's why we don't make deals very often. So how much do you want for it?
Well, I'm thinking 16 now. I know how it operates around here, and I want to leave you a little money to make in it. So, yeah, 16.
You can do that.
All right.
Let's go write it up.
Sounds good.
I'm psyched I got this grenade. It was a great find. It was designed by a secret government organization. It doesn't get any cooler than this.
Hey, Rick. I found some glasses that might actually work for you. Land ho! Check this out.
Okay, these are pretty cool. These are field binoculars. This is World War II era, right?
Yep.
Let me see here.
Can you see out of those?
Yeah.
It's worth its weight in gold if it lets you see.
I have a rare set of German World War II 10x80 binoculars. Just bought a new home, so the money will go to help pay for that. I'd like to get $5,000 for these binoculars.
It's amazing. So where did you get this?
I bought these in Germany, in the city that they were manufactured in.
You were in the military?
I was in a military station with the Army's 8th Division in Bad Kreuznach in the mid-60s.
Okay.
Can you see the moon with these things?
Kind of, yeah. Schneider's, right?
Yes.
Schneider optics, they've been around since, I think, before World War I. They're really super high quality optics. In the aviation business, they use these things because there's no equivalent.
All right.
See, it's 10x by 80, which means it has a really wide field of view. See the giant lenses up front?
Uh-huh.
They let in a tremendous amount of light.
The optics are much, much better than a normal telescope.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the normal binoculars, these are about as good as you can get.
What's that made out of?
Well, these are steel. These are glass lenses. A lot of manufacturing in Germany and all around the world suffered during World War II because the light gets so much out the door. That didn't happen with Schneider. Let me see here. The diopters still work. It's got ND filters in it. That's cool. Do you ever get your eyes tested?
Yeah.
You know where the different lenses change?
Yeah.
Has that in there too.
A tremendous, like you said, field of vision and clarity used by wildlife enthusiasts, by bird watchers, even bird watchers here in Las Vegas that like to look at the two-legged kinds.
That's a little creepy. All right. These are super collectible because people still use these. How much you want for it?
I'm looking to get $5,000.
American dollars.
U.S. American dollars.
They're in really good condition. Generally, a lot of times you just see this, not even this apparatus or anything else like that. So let me give you $2,000.
$3,750.
$2,200? I mean, I have to pay people like this.
As you can see, I work very hard.
25. They'll be in your shop less than a month.
An equivalent new pair of binoculars today costs $10,000 to $15,000. It's still not going to give you this kind of optics, this kind of light coming in. So, $2,500, we got a deal.
Thank you.
You want to go write them up, chum?
Come on, let's write it up.
Yep, I'm definitely seeing a profit here. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. What do we got here?
Not too really sure. Guys I bought it from said it came from a submarine from World War II.
Okay. What you have here is a Munson lung. There was a Navy lieutenant named Mumpson who developed this, so it ended up being called the Mumpson lung. It's a rescue device for being in a submarine. You're actually able to reuse the air you exhale. This is the equivalent of like a big air bottle on your back, and takes up a lot less room. If you've ever taken a tour of a World War II submarine, there's not a lot of room in it.
I have an item from a submarine from World War II. Don't know really much about it. Bought this item from a garage sale for $100, hoping to get around $1,000. Hoping that's worth some money.
This is pretty cool. It's pretty incredible the way it works.
Right.
You can actually stay underwater for a while because when you exhale, the air would go through a valve and go through soda lime. Soda lime is a chemical compound that absorbs carbon dioxide. Say you're in a room with no oxygen, okay? It's the carbon dioxide that kills you, makes you cough, all that other stuff like that. So basically, the air you exhale, you get to reuse.
Right.
If you were in a submarine that was going down or something like that, there was like an escape pod you could get into. It would slowly pressurize to the outside pressure. Once it was pressurized, you could go outside. But this right here provided enough oxygen to go to the surface. These were standard issue on every U.S. submarine during World War II. By the 1950s, they redesigned them and redesigned it. But this was like the original one. It's kind of cool, actually. There's a lot of people collect World War II stuff. Submarine stuff is really hard to get because submarines composed like 2% of the U.S. fleet. So they're pretty rare. What do you want for it?
I was hoping to get 1,000.
I'm sure you do. Okay, these things sell for right around $600-700 on the internet.
Right.
Okay, I've seen them before. They're super cool, so I'll give you $300, which is going to be great because you probably paid $5 for it at a garage sale.
I think I can do 3.
Take $300?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
You want to go right over there and we'll do some paperwork.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this profit and then buy a plane ticket, go home, visit some family.
How you doing, Rick? You remember me?
Yeah, I remember you.
Good. Good to see you again, man. I thought you might be interested in these bayonets. My dad sent these home from Second World War.
He must have been a really badass individual because he usually got these off a dead German soldier.
He was a pretty tough old guy. So I'd hate to say how he came by them for sure. I really just kind of want to get rid of them. I've had them for a long time. I don't want my grandkids to find them and somebody get hurt. So if I can get something off of them, I want to do that.
So what do you know about them?
And being in the 101st Airborne, they were all over Europe. You know, they were in the Battle of the Bulge and Bastogne, and every time they would come into another area or, you know, have another firefight or whatever, he would pick up some kind of souvenir and send it home.
The really cool thing about these knives is they all have a story. I can just imagine this guy being in battle and taking one of these things after every victory and thanking God he's alive.
So how much did you want for him?
Well, you know, you've always dealt fair with me. $1,500 is what I need.
Well, let me check them out.
I know for sure this is from a K98 Mauser.
It's in incredibly good shape.
What collectors look for in bayonets is good condition. Antique bayonets are like antique guns. You want them to be original. And if you modify and change them, they can lose a lot of value.
This is an older bayonet, and it's kind of an interesting one. It's got the tree saw thing at the top. It's got this saw back on it, and I don't think that one would fit on a Mauser.
Okay.
And I know that was a standard weapon that the Germans used in World War II.
Okay. This right here really concerns me.
Okay.
I know some guys would do this in their garage at home.
Make it more useful, or?
Make it more useful. If this was made in someone's garage, it's going to be worth a lot less money.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And then this one, they obviously took a bayonet of some kind and either broke off or something.
Yeah.
And the guy turned it into a knife, but I think it's cool. It's a good, heavy knife.
Yeah, it's a nice knife. The problem is with this is generally when they've been so modified like this, they're not really, really popular.
I really like the bayonets. One of them is in seriously great shape. The other two, I got problems. One of them, it's a homemade knife out of a bayonet, and I don't think it's worth a lot of money. The other one looks like the back was made in a garage somewhere. So before we negotiate, I need an expert to look at them.
We get my buddy in here. He's going to check them out, and we'll see.
All right, sounds fair to me.
So where'd you get these from?
Well, my dad was in the 101st Airborne in the Second World War, and every time they went to a different place or had something decisive happen, he would send home a souvenir.
The British fought for king and country, the French fought for glory, and the Americans fought for souvenirs. It was very common for soldiers to send items back, and they sent truckloads of stuff back. I mean, some would even put stamps on helmets with an address label on the helmet, not even box it up and send it through the mail. Okay, Rick, what are your concerns about the bayonets?
Well, I know this one is just an old bayonet that's been ground down into a knife. This one looks perfect. This one, ooh. You know, I don't know if this is factory or this was done in some guy's garage.
Okay, well, it actually may surprise you. This was made in 1916. These sawbacks were actually used for cutting wood by engineers. I mean, that's their historical thing. But the British considered these a horrible slashing weapon, and they considered them inhumane. And what they would do is any German soldier that would capture one of these would generally be executed at the moment of capture. But this one, you can tell, it's just so consistent, and the edges are very sharp that it was done in the factory here. With my experience, I can tell by the look of the knife that it's from the time period and wasn't, made by somebody in the garage here. This one may not seem like it's worth very much, but what this was originally was what's called a 9805 butcher blade. In German World War I, you see King Wilhelm's cipher and the date of manufacture, which is 1915. What could have happened was the blade broke. I mean, it was originally the size of this blade here. The blade probably broke, some GI turned it into a fighting knife. This one here.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
This is actually Czechoslovakian VZ-24 bayonet. And when you see a VZ-24 bayonet, the cutting edge of the blade is always pointing up.
Okay.
And their philosophy was you insert the bayonet and raise it.
Okay.
And whenever Germany would go into a country, they would utilize all the weapons that the country had, plus usually they had the factories continue making weapons.
So tell me what they're worth.
This one here, the fighting knife, it's worth between $100 and $200. This one here, the sawback, it's the most interesting. It's worth about $250, $350. This one here you seem to like the best because of the condition. This is actually the least desirable because so many of them are available. It's only worth $45, $50 because it's a real common bayonet.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, Paul. I really appreciate it.
Before Paul came in, I only wanted one of the bayonets. Now I want all three of them. The only question is, how bad does Herb want the money?
So you still want $1,500 for him?
Well, that's what I'd like to have. I'd take 1,000 if you give me 1,000.
No, like I said, Paul just told me they're worth $500, and I got to make a few bucks off you too.
Gee, man.
I mean, so I'm going to be able to give you like $300, and.
No, I'd rather keep them, let the kids play with them.
Yeah, let's wait till the kids get a little older before they play with them.
Okay, well, I understand. Yeah, I'll just put them back in the box. I needed at least 1,000 to come out of here today, and so I'm just going to keep it for the family. I better put them up before I get arrested on the street.
Okay.
What do we got here?
I have a World War II leather jacket worn by a real war hero, numerous times shot down.
Fighter pilots, they did not really have a long life expectancy.
Mm-hmm. His plane took 198 bullets, 6 cannon shots.
Yeah,
it's like a miracle to survive. I came down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my World War II fighter jacket. I got the jacket from an old roommate. I have a lot of bills to pay. I'm hoping to get 10,000 bucks. I'd probably take as low as 4,000.
So what do you know about the pilot who wore this?
It was worn by Henry S. Heidekopper. When I researched it online, found out who the guy was, I said, wow, this guy was a hero. He was captain of the Hellhawks.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. The Hellhawks were famous for stopping the Nazis at Normandy.
Yeah, they helped soften up the beaches. These guys had to fly low. This was the plane that went over and took out tanks.
Right.
It really wasn't that fast, but they put a bomber engine in a fighter plane and then put 8 50 caliber machine guns in it. And these guys would come across with their 8 machine guns going and just tear the ground up.
Right.
The Hellhawks were famous for basically being a bunch of badasses. They were at D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and they spearheaded the invasion of Germany. All right, so what do you want to do with it?
I'd like to sell it. I feel it's worth 10,000 bucks.
This is a genuine military jacket. I can see that. That's easy to tell.
On the back collar, actually, is U.S. Navy.
I'm pretty sure the Hellhawks were U.S. Army Air Corps.
This could very easily be an Army unit. and they just acquired some Navy jackets.
It's just a little weird to me. I know a guy who will know everything about this jacket. Let me have him look at this thing.
Sure.
And he will tell me everything about it.
Sounds great.
So what are your concerns with the jacket?
Okay, he believes the jacket's from World War II, but as far as I know, the Hellhawks were Army Air Corps, not the Navy.
There was a group called the Hellhawks that fought at Normandy. You know, they were very active in the invasion and D-Day and all of that. These guys were very successful fighters. The Hellhawks were quite involved taking out any of the German planes that got up into the air, trying to take out any of the German guns that they could. A significant part of the D-Day invasion. Yeah. It's got the shearling collar on it. This type of weaving here is World War II with the two different types of weaving here. The patch is a World War II style of patch. Jacket itself, in terms of being World War II, everything's correct on that. In terms of Heide Cooper himself, he was in the Hellhawks. I did find him listed in the Hellhawks as a member of the unit. The problem is, he was not the member of the Hellhawks that fought at Normandy. The Hellhawks is just the nickname for a group.
Really?
Yeah, it isn't the official name. So you also had a Marine Corps group that was VMF 213 that were the Hellhawks, also in World War II. And Heide Cooper is somebody that was in VMF 213. And they were a naval air group, but it is a very nice World War II fighter jacket. Less common than the Army fighter jackets.
Thanks a lot, man. You're the best.
Not a problem.
Hey,
Hope this
Mark,
helps.
appreciate the info.
The squadrons get known by the nicknames, but that's not their official name. So you get some confusion when you get an overlap of the same name and two different units.
Now, you will not get $10,000 for it. But we do have a World War II fighter jacket that I'd be willing to pay you like $1,500 for.
Yeah, I agree with you now that I know more. 10 grand is high, but it's got so much history. I'd take 4,000 bucks for it.
It's very interesting. The price doesn't go as much as they were a few years ago. I'll give you 2,000 cash right now.
2,500?
No.
No. I'd go 2,000, not a penny more.
Let's make a deal.
Okay. All right, meet you right up there. We'll write it up.
Thank you.
I gotta be honest, I was a little bummed when Mark told me it was from a different Hellhawks. But it's still a cool jacket, and I think collectors will definitely be lining up for something like this.